Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to LiamCTC ChickenDahlRedLentil. This evening we're going to do the recipe for the chicken split lentil dal that I've put on the blog, and it's also available, the photos on Instagram. I've had a couple of questions from people regarding can they use chicken breast instead of using chicken thigh because some of their people or some of their family won't eat chicken thigh. Yes, the answer is you can. So this evening I've decided to use some chicken breast. I've also had questions from people regarding turning it into a vegetarian and what size should the potatoes be. So this evening I've decided to add a couple of potatoes as well. And yes, you can turn it into a vegetarian dal, but I'll send out a little recipe on how you do it because it is a slightly different technique. This is normally what happens in our house. I get home from work, the boys, Rachel, everyone, we have a quick chat about what's happening during the day. They all say to me, what's for dinner? And then they disappear. So I'm left here in the kitchen. Nothing new there. Right, so let's start. By the way, we're going to do this video in two parts. I'm not going to keep you for an hour and a half or so as it cooks. We're going to pop it, we're going to fry it down, pop it in the oven, and then I'm going to do the second part of the video, which is going to have a little tomato salad, the raita, and a cheese with some bread. I don't always cook brown rice because sometimes I think to myself, I've already had rice at lunch, so I'm not going to cook it again for dinner. So, let's start. Right, we're going to start with the onions. We're going to pop them in. Switch our heat up. Now with the onions, all you really want to do, because everything is going to have quite a long time to cook down, right? So with the onions, all you want to do is give them a few minutes, not in like a minute, minute and a half, just so that you can start to get a little bit of the smell off it, right? We're going to switch that heat up. Obviously the same rules apply as normal. We have washed and cleaned our hands. We have made sure that our vegetables that we're using, tomatoes, etc., cucumber, has been nicely cleaned and washed, because yet again, we don't want to find ourselves with something that isn't nice afterwards. Right, we've given the onions about a minute. They have just started to smell, because everything is going to spend maybe 8 to 10 minutes on top of a pan before any liquid hits it. You don't want to overcook it, you don't want to burn it, because it gives a nasty aftertaste, and it ruins it. Right, our ginger. I've taken this lengthways tonight instead of into dice, because the last night we had it as a family, all of the family said to me, oh, we do like the ginger, but we like to see it as we eat it, and it's also nice to get a good bang of ginger in your food. I'm also going to take this opportunity to give you an update as to where we are on cookingthroughcancer.com. The garlic has gone in, sorry. On where we are with cookingthroughcancer.com. How the blog is going, the website is going, and how the little YouTube videos, this is going to be number 4, they're going quite well. They're quite difficult to make, obviously with our low production values, but they're also quite exhausting because it means I'm talking for maybe 14 or 15 minutes, which normally isn't impossible, but at the moment I do find it, maybe 6 to 8 minutes, and I'm thinking to myself, right, enough's enough. Also, more importantly, the fundraising, the Just Giving page for the Royal Berkshire NHS and for Macmillan Cancer is going phenomenal. So to everybody who has donated, I just want to say on behalf of me and my family, thank you ever so much. We really appreciate it. They are phenomenal causes. Right, question on the potatoes. I normally dice them about yay big, which isn't very, very big, because some of them are going to break down, which is going to add to the consistency and the texture, and some are going to stay whole. Right, so our onions are in here, our garlic is in here, our ginger is in here, and this smells divine. In kitchens, we have little things that we call marriages made in heaven. Tomato and basil, garlic and onion, right? Cheese and onion. But one of the main marriages made in heaven has got to be the trilogy of garlic, ginger, and onion. When these guys are frying, you can't help but have a smile on your face. Right, so our potatoes are gone in here. It's all looking quite well. It's all had a nice little stir around. In here, I have my red split lentils that have been given a good soaking and a washing. The reason I wash these guys is because occasionally you find little bits of grit in them. You find little stones. It can happen. It's not due to a bad product or a bad production. It's just that sometimes it can happen. Right, I'm turning the heat up As you can hear, this is starting to take on a nice little life. All I want to do with the lentils, guys, is warm them up a little bit before I add my spices, right? I've also done this. So this is because I hate wasting food. Tonight's dinner, we're going to do with a little tomato salad. This is the inside out of the tomatoes. That's the shell. I just hate wasting food. So therefore, if I get the opportunity, I'll always reuse it, right? Now because this is getting a bit heavy, it's time to change over to something a little bit heavier. Right, in here, we have our spices. Over here, we have the chilies. I'm only using a really small amount. You can turn the heat up, entirely up to yourself. And the cloves that I so love. Yet again, cloves, really good for the system, especially with the drugs that we're on for chemo, right? So all the spices that got in, if you were standing here, you would smell this. And I've got to, like I said, I've got to tell you, this would bring a smile on your face. Right, at this stage of the cooking process, you've now got to pay some attention, right? Because everybody loves the smell of spices, everybody hates the smell of burnt spices. So when these bad boys go in, you've got to keep moving them around, right? And that's exactly what I'm doing, right? At this stage, I've got my liquid here, I've got my tomato, and I've got my passata. Oh, sorry, I've got my water and my passata. I've added the two of them together. Right, in we go. Right? Give it a little stirring around, give it a little rooting on the bottom. As you can see, we're starting to get, it's come up really quick. This little machine I'm using underneath me here is a rapid cooker. Right, in as well, my little tomatoes. It's going to have quite a while in the oven. It's going to have time to cook down and break down. Right, okay. And at this stage, we're putting in, so we're just going to take that temperature down a little bit. We're putting in that stock cube. Now, I've thrown out the packaging of the stock cube. This is a low sodium stock cube, but it does have allergies inside it. So if you do have an allergy, please read the label. Check out what you're putting in. You don't really need it. I put it in because I'm being a little bit lazy this evening. It does enhance the flavor, but without it, it's quite good, right? At this stage, I'm going to put my chicken in, and I'm going to use the knife just to whip them off. This is 2.5 organic chicken breasts that I've just cut lengthways. You can put in the whole chicken breast if you want, and just leave it cook down and allow it one per person. But because I'm trying to make sure we don't go OTT on the amount of meat protein I'm eating at the moment, I'm allowing this for the 4 of us, right? Which is 2.5 of the little chicken breasts. Okay, effectively, that is it. We're now going to put a lid on this. So we're going to give it another little thing just to cover over the chicken breasts. Make sure they're well covered in the sauce so that they don't go dry. And we're going to pop it in the oven. We're going to switch this off. We're going to take the little dog for a walk. We're going to come back later as it comes out of the oven. We're going to finish it, garnish it. We're going to make the raita. We're going to make a little tomato salad. And I'm going to show you a cheat that I use with bread. Not everybody wants to have rice every evening. It is quite heavy. And as well as that, we had rice for lunch. So I'll see you soon. We're waiting for that pan to warm up. We're just going to take some finely sliced red onion. Now, onions, as I've said before, they are life givers, guys. They're good for the kidneys, they're good for the liver, and when you're on the old chemo drugs, anything that helps the liver and the kidneys has got to be a bonus. For this particular salad, I just like as much of the green of the spring onion as I can. I'm just going to scrape it in there. I'm going to give it a little squeeze of lemon juice, because that's all I feel it needs. I'm going to give it a little dash of black pepper and a touch of salt, and that very un-Indian thing, a little bit of olive oil. We will toss that later as we sit down to eat it, but there it is, basically. Nice, simple salad. A little bit like you get in a curry house if you were going to have your naan breads, etc., etc. Along the same idea. If you want, I've got a little bit of spare coriander. If you like coriander as much as my family does, just pop it in there. that's exactly what it looks like. Nice and simple. Right, I am going to finish the raita. So in here I've got my cucumbers, I've got my mint, I've got a squeeze of lemon juice. I'm now going to add a little bit of yogurt, about that amount, and I'm going to finish it off with this bad boy, a little bit of garlic, into my crusher, close it over. This is a really old one. You don't peel it, you don't do anything, and you literally give it a good old squeeze like that. You can still buy these. They are mega effective. They're easy enough to clean. Just don't ever put it through a dishwasher. If you do, you might as well throw it in the bin. Right? Another little squeeze like that. Right? And because I also hate, as you all know, wasting anything, I throw this in here. Now it's going to burn and it's going to stay fairly whole, because when it comes down to cooking my little breads, all I'm going to do is use that to give it a little bit of flavour, put it in, spin it around, turn up the volume, and if you want to finish this one off with another little bit of lemon juice, it doesn't do any harm. And that's basically it. Once these breads are cooked, we will cut it, close it, and what we're going to do with this videos is we're going to send it to my fantastic nephew in Ireland, who I think turned around and offered to actually help us to do videos. Little did he know, we're going to take him up on his offer. So Kevin, you're going to start getting some emails later on tonight. Please help out, and please try and turn our semi-professional videos into very professional videos. And there's your raita, and that's it. Now I have added a teeny weeny little bit of salt and pepper into this. You don't need to. It's got its own flavour, and this goes really well with your curry. So there you are. Between that, between the bread, the raita and the salad, you now have a curry that doesn't have rice. And as you can see, the little bits of garlic cooking away in there. Turn your bread over, give it another couple of seconds on the other side, and that's it, folks. Enjoy your dinner, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay together. Have a look at this on YouTube, subscribe to it, like it, whatever. Have a look at the blog, www.cookingthroughcancer.com. Thank you, bye.